started building stuff and I kept learning more about it. And the active programming itself, I just found to be very addictive and fun. It was like I could do it all day. Like during summer vacation, I probably sat right here for like 24 hours straight, just doing that without sleeping or eating or anything, which is obviously not healthy, but that was how addictive it was to me.
Yeah.
So I really
I
started.
don't promote that to everybody, but for Kai, it worked.
No.
So Kai Horseman, class of 2020 from Saugus High.
All right.
I had the privilege of working with Kai through his high school process, getting him into college, and I felt like he had a really cool success story. Just the things that he does in general seem to set him apart from a lot of other students. So I felt like you, Kai, kind of just could shed some light to other students who are probably wanting to go to selective universities like you're going to, and just kind of tell them your story. Like, how did you get there? And if you want to just give a little bit of background about you, that'd be awesome.
So yeah, up until like 9th grade, I would say, like, I never, I just did stuff because I was supposed to, like all my work and everything. My grades were, I guess, good for the most part because I was, my parents made me work. But like after like 9th grade, I took this biology class in 9th grade that the teacher was great, and like it really, I always liked science and stuff up until then, but with this class in 9th grade, I really started getting into learning and everything, and I started working hard because I liked what I was doing rather than because I was supposed to be doing it. And so I wanted to challenge myself, and I started taking, higher level classes. I took AP classes when I could, and all that. And yeah, so I set up like a track for myself, what classes I would take, what AP classes I would take in high school. I knew I wanted to go to a good college and study, like, first it was like chemistry and biology and stuff, but then I started getting interested in computers and computer science, and yeah, now I plan to major in computer science and possibly math at Cornell, which is the best I could have hoped for, so I'm very happy about that.
How did you really focus in on comp sci, and maybe help us understand why you chose Cornell as the place where you wanted to study that?
So yeah, I used to be very interested in like the traditional sciences, the core, the pure sciences, until like at one point, I think, so this was back in 6th grade, I built like a website because I wanted to. And, I used like some Wix or, Weaver, one of the random website builders, and it went okay, it was fine, but it didn't really let me do what I wanted, no customization and all that. So I started looking into, programming a website from scratch. And in order to do that, I had to learn like a number of languages. So I started getting into coding in like 6th grade, but it was nothing serious. It was a side thing, and I forgot about it, maybe remembered it a few years later. And that cycle kept going until like 10th or 11th grade, I started realizing that this is something, people do as a career. They can get paid for this stuff. They make a living off making sites or, more high level stuff. So then I started getting deeper into coding. I started learning a number of programming languages, and I started building stuff, and I kept learning more about it. And the active programming itself, I just found to be very addictive and fun. It was like I could do it all day. Like during summer vacation, I probably sat right here for like 24 hours straight, just doing that without sleeping or eating or anything, which is obviously not healthy, but that was how addictive it was to me.
Yeah.
So I really
I don't promote that to everybody, but for Kai, it worked.
No, no, but yeah, that just, I was very, very interested in this programming stuff, and I started loving it so much. I decided, I want to learn more about this. I want to learn about the theory behind it, which, the math behind it, all that, which, is, more appropriate for college environment of study than just learning it myself. So I decided I really want to pursue this computer stuff in college and hopefully get a career working with computers and programming and stuff like that.
Love that kind of passion. And it, like you said, it didn't even seem like it was work to you. It was just, you fell in love with it. Exactly, and time kind of just passed by. So tell everybody about, once you heard from Cornell, was it a done deal right then and there, or how did you finally come to your decision to enroll?
So I actually applied early decision to Cornell. And so once I got my acceptance letter in December, it was pretty much set that I would be going there. Mm-hmm. I had looked at a number of options, and Cornell was an Ivy League school, had an excellent computer science program, probably the best or one of the best in the Ivy Leagues in terms of computer science. And, had a great program. It was on my list. And I think I was talking to, Trevor or one of you or Lindsay or something. I think one of you suggested, you can go and visit the school if you have time or something. And you really stressed that I should be visiting the schools. And obviously Cornell is across the country. So it would be harder to visit, but during, summer vacation, I found the time to go and visit the school. Along with the number of other schools like RPI, and there were a lot. But Cornell, when I went there, I was just blown away by the beauty of the campus, and it was amazing. I was very impressed going to the other schools like Rochester, but those looked like nothing compared to Cornell's campus. Even the presentation, the presentation about, what's Cornell, blah, 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 that stuff. It was just so well put together, and it just looked like the definition of perfect. So after coming home, I was dead set on Cornell after visiting, and I remember I even made my phone wallpaper, the Cornell logo, because I was very obsessed with this school now. And so, that got me motivated, and I started working harder on my applications and all that.
So that's an interesting point, Kai. So you went to the school, you saw how the culture, the students, the whole program itself kind of fit you. And then from there, you just had this vision that you were going to somehow make it happen. And obviously applying early decision, that's a big commitment. You're letting the school know, if you accept me, I'm coming. And it just happened to work out. So that's amazing. What are the, if you were to maybe give a little piece of advice to a student who's maybe 2 years behind you, who's still uncertain. So if you can kind of think yourself back as a sophomore in high school, unknowing what you're going to do, what really is going to grasp your attention so that you can make this whole college process work, what advice would you give to a student at that stage right now?
I think it's important to start early on searching for colleges and all that, for sure. Because people, tend to just, they've heard of a number of colleges growing up that have a famous name, like Harvard or UCLA or whatever. And they think, that's going to be good because it's famous. Everyone will like me if I go there because I'm going to this college. But when you go to when you visit the college, if you can, or whether you look into the programs that the colleges have and you actually read the details, I feel like you should do that early so you can really see what program or what college would be best for whatever you're interested in studying, and you can do the whole demonstrated interest stuff and reach out to them and all that.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's important to get started trying to look for the best program you could hope for related to what you're studying early on.
That's a great piece of advice, actually. So you went from this kid who was interested in the STEM field of some sort. Do you think that there was anything instilled in you from a young age that maybe your mom or your dad shared with you that you kind of just took and ran with? I mean, obviously I know that you created your own website when you were in 6th grade, which I think is phenomenal. But do you think that there were any characteristics that you just were innate in you growing up the way that you did that maybe helped you along the way?
Well, my mom was always like very educationally centered. She was always interested in what I was doing in school, and she wanted to stay on top of my education and make sure things were going well. So that definitely kept me motivated. I mean, both my parents are not like science people; they're more like humanities people. But my dad was always interested in science when he was a kid, so like he would teach me basic science stuff, and we would talk about science, talk about pointless discussions about the universe and all that. So that got me interested in science when I was little, and I carried that interest into high school and started learning, the actual important stuff behind it, and that was even more interesting.
I guess of all the different things that you and I did together just to kind of package your application or just kind of guide you through this process, was there something in particular that really in your mind stands out that helped you along the way?
Well, there are a number of things. I mean, the most basic thing was I didn't know that demonstrated interest was even a thing that you had to do. So that really opened my eyes that, I should be contacting these colleges to show, how interested I am. And definitely the whole essay review process of like getting my essay, like I was really, the first time I received feedback on my essay, the rough draft, I was actually pretty blown away by the commentary that I received on that essay. It was like, you could tell that the person who reviewed it really like knew their stuff. Like, and the way they wrote the commentary really helped me realize how I could bring the essay from just, a pretty standard, body, introduction, body, conclusion type of essay to something that's more compelling and interesting to read. So the essay review process really, that was key, I think, in getting my application to a good point. And also, when I did an interview, you helped me, with a little mock interview, and that helped me, be more confident going into the interview, and I think I did good with that too. So yeah, those are things for sure.
That's great. I mean, look, you're the epitome of what I personally think students strive for. You did a lot of this based on your passion and your ingenuity and your willingness to kind of let time pass and just stay enamored with the things that interest you. And I think that a lot of students kind of take a different approach where they do all these different things to hopefully have a complete college application, and they really never kind of drill down or fine tune that one thing like you did that can help you shine in this whole application process. So for that, I got to say that going against the grain was something that you did exceptionally well, and it obviously turned out well for you. Any thoughts that you want to maybe share, or any last message that you feel is worth sharing with anyone?
I felt the thing that helped me get into like the school that I wanted was like really the supplement essay. Like instead of just writing. You know, people think, you know, oh, write about your struggles, this, you know, those are the cliche common stuff, but like really expressing how much I loved the school I was applying to and how interested I was. Like I really made it clear that I really wanted to go there, and I think, you know, any admission officer reading that, that's, you know, they're gonna, you know, like that they're accepting someone that's not just, you know, applying because of the name, because they want to, you know, go to a prestigious school, but because they think they fit in that school's culture. So I think, you know, the supplement essay talking about why exactly you love that school and you think you fit there is definitely important.
That's a great point. And I think that ties into what you were mentioning earlier, which is just do your homework early, see how the program matches you as an individual. Kai, I hope that 4 years from now, we can do another interview and see what job prospects you have waiting for you when you're about ready to graduate from Cornell. Thank you so much, and thank you for being an inspiration for other students too. So.